what are premises liability cases? Premises liability cases are where you are in a store and you slip and trip on a puddle of water. Premises liability cases are you're in a parking lot of the store and you get shot by a violent criminal running out. Premises liability cases are basically cases against the landowner. And so most often, like I said, it's going to be slip and falls in stores, slip and falls in homes, parking lot issues for major stores. But that's what they are. But what is a premises liability case? Well, there's 4 parts, premises liability. This is going to be a real lawyerly answer, so bear with me. There's duty, breach, causation, and damages. What's duty? Duty is a very, very simple way. Did the store have a duty to the customer? And so let's break that down. If I'm at a store and the store knows a lot of customers get robbed when they leave the store, well, that store has a duty to provide safety for the customers coming in and out. Fancy way you can say that is ingress, egress. I don't like saying that. If the store knows a lot of customers are getting robbed, they have a duty to provide security. If a manager or store employee knows that a certain freezer in the frozen fruit section leaks and causes puddles of water, well, they have a duty to clean that so people don't slip, trip, and fall and hurt themselves on that puddle of water. Now, no store is going to be liable for the criminal acts of a third party because that's random. But if a store knows or should have known that someone could be hurt because of their action or lack of action, that does create a duty. The duty part of a premises liability case, such as slip, trip, and fall, is the most hotly contested part. Because these stores, these landowners love to say, I had no idea this could happen, despite the fact it happening multiple times in the past. But they fight that. That is the hotly contested element of premises liability. The next element is breach. If the store owed you a duty, did the store not take that duty? Did they not do it? So if the store knows the freezer leaks and there's a puddle on the ground, they're breaking the duty to keep the floor clean and clear. If the store knows an unusual amount of customers or clients get robbed in the parking lot and they don't provide security or cameras or at least some well lighting up there so people can see them coming at you, well, they're breaching their duty to provide safety for the person coming in out of that store. So there has to be a breach for premises liability cases. And then the next step is causation. Causation is a fancy way of saying, did the breach of the duty cause an injury? So if the store is known to have violence in the parking lot and they don't provide security, that doesn't matter for someone inside who trips and slips on a puddle on the ground. There has to be related. So the breach has to actually cause the damages. You can't just say, hey, this is a bad store because they had violence in the parking lot. They should take better care of the inside. There has to be a relationship between the breach of the duty and the causation of injury. And there has to be damages. If I slip, trip, and fall in a Walmart and I pop back up, I don't have any damages. If I walk away, I'm fine. I'll go to the doctor, no big deal. I can't really sue the store and say, hey, I slipped and fell if I'm not hurt, because the law doesn't like dealing with imaginary things. They like dealing with concrete things. So there has to be damages. The damages part of a premises liability, such as a slip, trip, and fall, is also probably the second most contested. Now, this law firm has had numerous young people get hurt in premises liability cases, slipping and hurting their head. You have people who get shot. And so anyone can be the victim of a premises liability case. We have also seen that the most vulnerable people of our society, the elderly, people who have pre-existing medical conditions, we often see them get especially hurt with these type cases because when they slip, trip, and fall on land, they're going to sustain more injuries. They're not going to be able to pop back up. And so the insurance companies, store will often, the property owner will often say, well, yeah, they fell, but they had some injuries beforehand, so we're not really responsible. That's complete garbage. In Indiana, property owner takes the victim as they find them. So you don't get out of jail free pass simply because the person hurt was a more vulnerable member of society. That's ridiculous. And that's not the law, but that's something they'll constantly try to do. Well, the slipping on the puddle caused my client significant back pain and they had to have surgery on their shoulder. And the insurance company will say, well, Mark, they complained about that shoulder pain 10 years ago, so we're not really responsible. That was already there. Yeah, but they didn't need surgery until after they fell. Premises liability cases are hard. They just are. They're not easy by any means. They're usually very fact sensitive. They usually go into litigation because companies fight these so hard. But if you've been injured or someone you love has been injured, give us a call. I know we can help. Our phone number is 317 632 3642.